Hello everyone, I hope everybody's well. Today is my first unboxing video that I've ever done, and I wanted to share this a little bit because it's kind of a special thing for me. So let's get right into it. These are a new pair of Danners. They just came in this afternoon. I haven't opened them up yet. I wanted to share that with you. My history with Danner goes back a little ways. This is not a sponsored video, although Danner, if you're listening, I'd be more than willing to help you out. I think probably back in the 1990s, like 92, I saw a pair of Danners that I just absolutely had to have. And back then, the Acadia was about, I think they're about $145 or $210, somewhere in that range. And they were just way outside my price range. So anyway, I saved and begged my wife and finally found a pair and bought them off the rack someplace, but I bought them for full price. I got 9.5. I normally wear 9.5, depending on the shoe. What I didn't know at the time is they do run, this particular last, they call it, runs very narrow. And so I like my boots snug, but these were quite a bit of a break-in time. Wore them down to nothing. I even got them resold in the mall a couple times. Finally got up enough gumption and bought myself another pair. This time I bought a pair of 10s, thinking that would give me a little more room. They just gave me more length, didn't give me any more width. And eventually the sides do break down on them a little bit, and they do give you some more space. But I have a pretty average foot, so if you have anything from average to a wide, then as the recommendations go, even on their website, they say you're going to want to buy the EE or the wide last, because this is a very narrow last boot. So after that, I think I got another pair of 9.5s. I've been through, I think, 3 or 4 pairs of Danner Acadias, and then one of their more synthetic, modern looking boots. But now I'm not wearing uniform boots anymore, and I wanted to get myself something a little more casual, or something that kind of fit for just kind of everything without wearing a black shiny boot with jeans, But so anyway, I landed on the Danner Elk Hunters, and a very traditional boot for Danner. It's a USA made boot. It's only made in Oregon at their factory, and it's only made by hand. And so you can't buy it off the shelf someplace, you have to order it from them. So sold a bunch of stuff on eBay and got rid of some stuff, and came up with enough funds to go ahead and order myself a pair, and come to find out they're back ordered. So I called, they said that they'll be ready right about April. So I had to wait, till forever. Fortunately, in the meantime, they sent me an email and said, hey, they're available right now. So that was this is now February. And so quite a bit earlier than what they had projected. And so I immediately ordered my pair. And now we're gonna open these guys up. So the Danner Elk Hunters, they're a nubuck, or suede looking tan. And you're gonna get to see them with me. They don't come with inner soles. The Acadias that I had before had a heel cup, or orthotic, they call it heel cup. That kind of helps a little bit air circulation, I think, on your footbed. And these don't come with those. I'm gonna assume they don't really need them. I went ahead and ordered one of the Danner heel cups to go with it too, so that I had that. I like an inner sole, I like that extra little bit of cushion, and I think you can see what I'm looking at there now. But so I bought that extra heel cup. I hope that it's in the box because I didn't see it in the other box. But Danner, established 1939. A good number of their boots are still USA made in Oregon. They're recraftable if they're stitched down, or if they're the stitch soles. A lot of their more modern looking boots are they're glued. They're made overseas by top tier vendors, but they're still made overseas, and they're not recraftable. Once you blow them out, you blow them out. Kind of reminds me when I first started in law enforcement, we had to wear the standard, shiny plastic shoes. I think they call it core frames, and not the best footwear in the world, but they matched the uniform. And the department I worked for at the time eventually let us do a self-boot purchase. And back then it was high tech. You had to get a pair of high tech boots, and these were, I think, $58 boots. They weren't expensive. It was back then, but and they were glued soles. They were made overseas, and you would get about 6 or 8 months out of your high techs. Everyone loved them. They were kind of like a tennis shoe boot. And I don't even know if they make. I think they do make high techs now, but they're still. But anyway, eventually graduated up to a regular on boot. But a recraftable boot is something that's kind of like it's a lifetime boot. It's a boot that you buy, you can resole, you send it back to Danner. They can rebuild this thing, but it's already broken to your foot now. And so they're literally like buy one and done, And that's kind of what I wanted with this as well. So enough over explaining. Let's open the box. So the Danner Elk Hunters. Wow. Exactly like I had pictured. Oh, here's no, that's my card. Well, you know what? I don't think I got my heels. No, I'll be calling Danner back to ask him where my heel cups are at, because I think I paid $18 for the heel cups. But these are the Elk Hunter 8-inch recraftable stitched down construction Danner Bob sole, made in the USA, union made, with the Vibram sole, Gore-Tex lining, no thin slate, by the way. That you can buy them with a 400-gram thin slate, but I live in Florida and I really didn't think I needed that. And these are the 9.5 EEs. Like I said, I wear 9.5, really usually regular. But in these, you can see they are a narrow boot with the over-the-toe lacing on it, which draws that even closer to you. So because of that, I got the wides, which they really don't look wide, but for that last, they call it, that's what a wide looks like anyways. So let's get this out of the way. Comes with my little information card, made in the USA, 365-day warranty, recrafting, doo-dah. So pretty nice little pamphlet there. So these, hopefully you can get a decent look at them, are the Elk Hunters, the Bob sole that they talk about in there. It is a Vibram sole, but the from what I understand, the like kind of half moon balls, as opposed to that typical squared off tire tread looking sole that you're used to on the Vibrams, is what's famous for these. And I guess they're better because they don't grab as much material, or they let go of the material easier when you're into the soft muds and that sort of thing. That's not going to pick all that stuff up and track it everywhere. So allegedly these are supposed to release that stuff a little bit easier. They do say on the website that these are not ideal for sharp or rocky terrains, because I guess you'll start losing some of those bobs off of there. They're more prone to break off than that typical tread that you see on the other Vibrams. But that's the Bob sole. Otherwise, it's not a leather inside. It is the Gore-Tex inside. It has a little bit of a leather around the collar and the top of the tongue. And then I think it's 11 lace holes, with the top 3 being the speed laces, your little USA made tag on it. And of course you see that stitched down construction, which is a very different construction than a lot of boots you see nowadays. The leather is actually flared out, and they stitch it to the shank and the midsole, I think they call it. And then and that actually can be completely taken off, and all those soles can be replaced, or you can just replace the foam in the outer sole. And Danner will even replace the booties and repair some of the leather if it's torn or ripped when you do the recrafting process. But and your standard cobbler shop can just resole these. They take off the hard sole, they take off the foam sole, grind it all, and glue the new Vibrams to them. Kind of, I'm not sure about the Bob sole. We'll see when I start wearing them how I feel about it. but I'm not gonna do anything with them now. But I think that maybe in time, when it is time to resole them, I might put the traditional Vibram sole that I'm used to back on it as a replacement sole instead of that Bob sole. But I don't know. We'll see once I wear them around and get a little more accustomed to them. The so far, super happy with them, and we're gonna put them on and give you a look at what they look like with them on. So before we do the wear and tear on them, so Danner, Portland, Oregon, made in the USA, stamped right in the leather right there. And of course the Danner branded on the tongue, and little pull tab on the back. This will probably get cut off. I hate these things. They don't do me much good, and all they do is they hang up on your pants all the time. And that very unique and unusual over-the-toe lacing, which if you've never seen it before, when you see it when it's on, they almost look like I don't know, some bizarre orthopedic shoes or something, but they definitely stand out. So the traditional hiker slash hunting boot from Danner. These are going to be more of an everyday wear for me, but let's put them on and see what they look like. All right, we're back in the garage with the new Danner elk hunters, and I changed up the lacing a little bit. You saw me when I was doing the lacing on the video that I laced a little Gore-Tex metal gig on the inside, and I remember that on my Katie as I kind of went back and forth to what my opinion was about them. But I think I like it on the outside better, and besides, it doesn't press so hard into the leather underneath it because it does make a pretty decent impression on it. So went with the outside of it, and you'll see that you know, I think it's just personal opinion. I don't think it really matters. And for those of you that are particular like I am, the laces are all left over right. I always lace my boots left over right. Seems kind of silly, but the way I go to tighten them up is that I can pull, hold, pull with my middle finger, hold, pull, and it just works for me, and it's just uniform, you know, that they're laced left over right. And they kind of lock down on each other the way they're laced from the inside out. Someone told me that years ago, and I don't remember why, but they kind of lock down on themselves when you lace it from the inside out versus the outside in. So, but anyway, so first impression, fantastic. They smell good. Real leather, smells fantastic. So they smell good. Very happy that I went with the wide. You'll press out just a little bit on the side there as your foot kind of molds it, but not nearly what the regulars did, because I remember my Cadias, after a couple of years of wearing them, I was, you know, pressing the boot out almost over the stitch sole where my foot was. And like I said, I don't have a wide foot, so really glad I went with the 9.5 wide, because they do feel comfortable. I don't feel like my foot is curled like a taco inside of the boot, and they just look good. I've been wearing running shoes for the last probably 6 or 7 months with my jeans, and kind of getting tired of that. And so something a little bit more sturdy, a little bit more ankle support, a little bit more flatter footbed, so I'm not rolling my ankles or anything. And I think I'm gonna be happy with them. The fit and finish, I've gone over these really finely with you know, my scrutinizing eye, and there's not a missed stitch or a seam on here at all. The only thing I noticed on this one right here is just a little tiny bit of a dot in the leather right there, which is actually kind of cool because it's real leather. It's you know, it was on an animal at one point in time. So little imperfections. I mean, Danner does a pretty good job at going over and inspecting. I think it's inspected several times. And the stuff I've seen on the Danner factory, when they make these particular boots anyways, as many as 40 people touched this boot during the construction process. Truly a handmade item. You know, of course there's machines involved. But so those little, you know, unique things about them, I think just kind of give them more character. I really plan on these being a forever boot for me. So I'll do an update with them, maybe, I don't know, maybe 6 months or a year after they get a little bit of weather on them. Probably gonna get some leather honey or something to kind of coat them and give them a little bit of you know, protection on the outside. They are waterproof. Of course, the leather is not waterproof. The Gore-Tex bootie inside is what keeps the water from touching your foot, but this will get wet and will show water on them. And so, you know, unless you put a you know, something like a leather honey on them to kind of give them a little bit of protection, they will get you know, a lot more character sooner. So I'll probably try to protect them a little bit, and we'll check back in with an update with it. In the last item, I did contact Danner as soon as I got off camera, and they did send the foam heel cups that I bought. They sent them in another package, so they sent me the tracking number. They said they're on the way. They did 2 orders for the package. I'm not really sure why, but nonetheless, I'm expecting those here shortly. And you probably don't. I mean, they're comfortable without inner sole. I'm so used to putting inner soles in. All my old Acadias, I always put an inner sole in them. I added an ortholite or something to them. It was just out of habit, I guess. You don't need one, but the heel cup kind of gives you a little bit more structure in that heel, because the boot goes down and the leather folds out. It doesn't fold around, you know, your foot like a traditional boot would, where that sole is glued to it. So where the bootie meets the inside of the midsole, if I'm saying that right, it's kind of a, you know, an angle there. So having a heel cup in there just kind of hugs your heel just a little bit nicer. So looking forward to getting those guys in there. But super comfortable. Haven't worn them outside yet, so I'm gonna, now that I know I'm happy with them, there's no reason for me to, you know, send them back. Danner is super good with the customer service. 5 out of 5 whenever I've talked to them or need anything, and they'll take them back. They apparently only do refunds, so you'd have to refund your money and buy another pair. But if they had defects, I don't know if they'd send you another pair or not. But nonetheless, not going to be a need for those, and so I'm going to take them on an outdoor trip and start the break-in process, which shouldn't be too bad because it's a sanded leather. So it's got a little bit of a smoother, a softer finish to them than like a Fort Lewis or the loggers are. They're coated so they can take a shine. These are sanded, so they have a little bit more of a softer feel to them. So I don't think the break-in process is going to take too very long. And then no big hiking trips or anything planned for them. They're primarily for daily wear. But I'm looking forward to them. So I really thanks for checking in with me. My first unboxing, and very excited about my Danner boots. Danner elk hunters. Not a lot of videos on these. That's why I wanted to put one up, because there's only one or two out there. And so if you're thinking about them, you certainly have my recommendation as we sit right now. And go take a look at them. Otherwise, we will see you on the next one of Bill Over Explains Everything. Have a great day, y'all.